If you're planning a trip to Germany in 2024, there are a few things you should probably know. This is a brief list of a few of the things that may affect your stay this year and which you might want to bear in mind. And we start with the trains are not going to be very reliable. The good news is that this is not going to be due to strikes. The Train Drivers Union and Deutsche Bahn, Germany's largest rail operator, have reached an agreement which means that there likely won't be any more strikes until at the earliest March 2026. The problem is the infrastructure itself. Over the past few years, it has become increasingly clear that the network is simply unable to cope with demand, with some parts of it running at 120% capacity, and this means that delays and cancellations are becoming increasingly common. Obviously, this can't be allowed to continue, and so the government has finally set about trying to fix the problems. For passengers, the most obvious sign of this is going to be a thorough overhaul of the network with massive construction projects all over the country. And massive construction projects mean huge inconveniences for everybody. Each construction site means a temporary reduction in capacity, but at the same time, demand is increasing all the time. Last year, Deutsche Bahn conveyed more passengers than ever before, but estimates that every second train had to pass through at least one construction site. In short, we have a bit of a nightmare on our hands. Decreased capacity plus increasing demand. This is almost certainly going to result in more delays and more crowded trains. There are going to be major benefits from this work, at least we hope so, but we're not going to see them for at least another couple of years. And on the subject of public transport, I'd like to remind everybody that the famous Deutschlandticket is not intended for tourists. This is the ticket that gives you unlimited travel on all local public transport everywhere in Germany for just 49 euros a month, and it seems like an attractive offer. The problem is that because it's aimed at long-term residents and commuters, it's a subscription-based ticket that automatically renews if you don't cancel it in time. If you are going to use it for a short visit, I recommend you sign up for it with Mopla, which has a much more flexible cancellation policy than most other resellers. Next, Germany is hosting the 2024 UEFA European Championships. This is a big deal, with the tournament lasting from the 14th of June to the 14th of July. 10 cities will be hosting matches, 4 of them in the Rhine-Ruhr area, with the final being played in Berlin. You may find it a little more difficult than normal to find affordable accommodation. On match days, you may experience overcrowded public transport, packed bars, and noisy celebrations late into the night. Things may get rowdy, but for the most part, I expect crowds to be good-humoured. However, there is always a small number of people who might want to start trouble. I think the risk of that will be quite small, but if this sort of thing worries you, you might want to avoid these cities on match days. Finally, be careful with cannabis. There are still tight restrictions in place. As has been widely reported in the news, Germany is partially legalizing cannabis, with the new rules coming into effect on the 1st of April. However, this does not mean that Germany is a paradise for stoners. In short, if you are over the age of 18, you can have up to 25 grams of marijuana on your person outside of the home for personal consumption, or 50 grams in the home. You can consume cannabis in public, but not within 100 meters of a school or playground. Also, smoking marijuana will naturally be illegal wherever it is illegal to smoke tobacco, and owners of private property can, of course, impose their own restrictions. However, you may not actually be able to legally get a joint. It's still illegal to bring cannabis into the country, and dealing is also still illegal. You can grow your own or become a member of a cannabis club, which you can only do if you are officially resident in Germany. Things may change in future. That depends on how successful this first phase is, and also, of course, who wins the next election. But this year, if you are a tourist, you're not going to be able to benefit from this new law. So those are the big things for 2024. Expect problems on the trains, take the European Championship into account, and don't think you'll be able to legally get weed. But don't be put off. Germany is a great country, and I hope you enjoy your trip. Nightmare on our hands. Reduced capacity.